Jean-Paul Gaultier La Malle, Cuba Gold Paris. These two are very similar fragrances, and that would be because this is a clone of this. Today I'm going to be comparing the two, giving reviews on both of them, and telling you which one I think is better, and whether this really does match the quality of the genuine fragrance. Enjoy the video. Okay, welcome back everybody. So, two things to address just before we get into this video of these two things. People have commented on the clothing in recent videos, so I'm going to do very brief, like letting you know about what I am wearing at the start of the video up here, just in case you care. So this is just a super dry, nice kind of splattered paint t-shirt, and I know some people have been commenting on those kind of, I like my abstract clothing. And secondly, that would be, I've created something called a Ko-fi. And what I'm going to be doing is, it's like a social media. I will post all of my scent of the days onto that feed. There'll be a link in the description. You can also support the channel if you want to, but you know what, really all I care about is that you're able to just get additional content if you would like. So yeah, it's all going to be there, check it out. So, the video, these two fragrances, as I've said, Jean-Paul Gaultier La Malle and Cuba Gold Paris. The presentation. Firstly, the iconic Jean-Paul Gaultier La Malle comes in this can. I must say this is a 60ml, I believe. This is, yes, this is a 40ml bottle of La Malle. And here I have a 100ml bottle of Cuba Gold. It comes also kind of in a can. Metal, this is cardboard here, but this is metal cap, metal base. And obviously they're not trying to replicate the bottle in any way. It's a cigar, so it's quite cool. It comes in a cigar box as well, so it is quite cool design, quite cool packaging, and actually it's a really nice ceramic bottle as well. So they've gone all out with the packaging, and I must say before I get into this, the atomizer on this is very good. So I'm going to start off with La Malle. This is a brilliant fragrance. It combines spicy, fresh, so well. There's woodiness in there. See, this fragrance actually, the more I smell it, the more kind of refreshingly spicy it becomes. And I don't think it's described as a spicy fragrance anywhere else on the market. It's more described as being, how do you combine this woody sweetness to create something that is wearable in many different situations. Because there's, without doubt, in the top notes, there's very clearly citrus notes in there. Because you've got bergamot. It's not citrusy, but there's amber in there, and I think there's a few kind of more intricate notes, like I think there's something called peyote, there's tarragon, there's mint, of course there's mint, and this woody base is there from the start as well as you've got cardamom. I think in the mid notes. It's quite an aromatic scent in general, but that's what makes it so different from the Cuba Gold, as we'll go into in a minute. The base notes of this woodiness, you've got the amber, you have the cedarwood, there's sandalwood, there's tonka bean and vanilla as well. Tonka bean will create some sort of earthiness there. That creates a kind of solidified earthiness to the base, which is always nice to have, you know, alongside the woody notes, especially as we've got vanilla in there as well, and in the top notes we have quite fresh notes. It all balances out very well. It's a very clever fragrance, and I like to go into a little bit more detail than probably other people would with this fragrance. You know, to other people this is just a throwaway. This is just a designer fragrance that's out there. Everyone knows it, everyone smells it, and everyone likes it. To me, no, this is a little bit different. It's a very interesting fragrance, and there's a lot to think about in this one, because there's so many things in this, and there's so many different categories you could throw this into. Again, fresh, spicy, sweet, woody, oriental. But no, this should have a category of its own, and this is versatile. Everything, this is versatile. That's all you could really say. If you had to, you know, narrow this down to one word, it would be versatile. But beautiful. And the spiciness is maintaining, it's staying there. The tonka bean is remaining as well. It's remaining, keeping an earthiness. Sandalwood I can no longer smell, but there's a smokiness which is possibly, again, partly come from the tonka bean, but that'll be coming from the amber as well. There's many different things here, but it's a brilliant fragrance, and let's see how it matches with the other one. What an atomizer. I have to say, it's a really classy, good atomizer. Nothing. Where is it gone? Immediately, it's not as strong. It's not as intricate. If these weren't side by side, I would have told you these were identical from the start. At the start. The scent is, again, very fresh. It's got touches of spiciness, and this is where the scent lacks compared to the Lamal. It's not got as much spiciness there. It doesn't have tonka bean in it. You know, for $7.99, these kind of more expensive fragrances get replaced with aroma chemicals and just chemicals in general. I don't know everything about this kind of stuff, but I know that that's what happens. Things get missed out, things get pushed aside, corners are cut, and that's clearly what's happened here. There's not as much spiciness. The woodiness is certainly not there, anything like as much. It's fresh. There's a touch of mint in there for sure, and that's possibly where the main freshness is coming from here. And so in direct comparison, this is far more minty, but in general it's lacking everything, or the intricate details that Lamal had, and therefore is nowhere near as interesting. It's not as intricate, not as interesting, not as enjoyable as a whole. It feels like it's missing something, and again, that's in direct comparison with Lamal, because Lamal is jam-packed with goodness, everything you could possibly want in a fragrance, like category-wise anyway. It has been put into it, but this one is minty, it's fresh. Otherwise, it's kind of bland. I think that's what I would describe this as being. It's bland, but if you want something that smells remotely like Lamal, when you're not smelling them directly beside each other, you would certainly know this is trying to be Lamal. And I wouldn't say it's not enjoyable. It's not as enjoyable as Lamal, but it's not unenjoyable. And it's worth a buy for $7.99 if you would rather have something a little bit cheaper than, say, I don't know, a 40, 50, 60 pound Lamal. So, in conclusion, this is always going to be an intricate, incredible fragrance, that's always worth a spot in the collection, even if it is just based on, it's the amount of hype it's had in general. It's just such a popular fragrance. This one, if you like the bottle and you can throw away $7.99 and you still have this one, then fine, get it. But if you're actually genuinely wanting a good fragrance that's fresh, minty, spicy, but you can't afford, or you'd rather not spend 50, 60 quid on something like this, then I'd say it's worth it. It's fine. It's not a bad fragrance. Just nowhere near as interesting and completely layered and smooth as this one is. So when you have a battle of fragrances like this, one's $7.99 and one's so much higher, you're never gonna get something that's gonna basically this one's never gonna win. But performance wise, I haven't touched on that actually yet. I will do that briefly. This performance is 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. I'd say I get about 5 hours, 5.5 hours when I'm outside, and then it becomes very much a skin scent. This one, projecting well, is an hour, and after 2 hours it's very much a skin scent. But again, it's $7.99, you can bring it with you, and you could just walk into it. I'm happy wearing it, that's the main thing. So yeah, either way, enjoy these fragrances. They're very, very, very popular, but doesn't mean you can't smell good whilst wearing them. So thank you for watching the video again. Check out everything I talked about at the start, and if you want me to carry on just talking very briefly about what I'm wearing on the top half at the start of my videos, do let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed, let me know in the comments, and if you did enjoy the video, please do like it and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Mr. Fragrance.